Meet Ethan, a precocious and intensely focused 14-year-old driven by a peculiar blend of intellectual curiosity and a detached view of humanity, meticulously plans his ascent to becoming the world's most efficient and undetectable hitman, mastering not only the art of assassination but also the science of deception and the psychology of influence. Chapter 1. The Seeds of Ambition. The muted beige of Ethan's suburban bedroom offered little hint of the storm brewing within. Sunlight, weak and apologetic, filtered through the lace curtains, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air, a microscopic ballet of chaos mirroring the carefully orchestrated disorder in his 14-year-old mind. He sat at his desk, the glow of the laptop screen reflecting in his pale, almost translucent skin. His fingers, long and slender, moved with a practiced grace over the keyboard, a silent symphony of code weaving a web of deception. Not a virus, not a hack in the traditional sense. Something far more subtle, far more insidious. This wasn't about technical prowess. Ethan possessed a different kind of genius, the chilling intellect of a master manipulator. His targets weren't computer systems, but people. His weapons weren't malware, but meticulously crafted lies and carefully observed weaknesses. His early experiments were conducted within the seemingly innocuous ecosystem of his high school. He started small, almost imperceptibly, a misplaced text message subtly altering the subject of a gossip chain, a strategically planted rumor that blossomed into a full-blown schoolyard feud. He studied his subjects with the clinical detachment of a scientist dissecting a frog. He charted their social interactions, mapping their friendships and rivalries, their strengths and vulnerabilities. He noted their routines, their habits, their reactions to different stimuli. He was an anthropologist studying a strange, primitive tribe, a tribe of easily manipulated teenagers. He observed their petty dramas, their superficial friendships, their susceptibility to flattery and fear. It was all data, raw material for his intricate schemes. His first significant manipulation involved two popular girls, Chloe and Sarah, who were locked in a silent war of social dominance. Ethan, with his unnerving calm and quiet observation, perceived a fissure in their brittle alliance, a subtle hint of jealousy concealed beneath the veneer of friendship. He fed that jealousy, meticulously crafting a series of seemingly innocent events that escalated their conflict into a full-blown, public spectacle. He planted a compromising photograph, subtly altered a message on social media, orchestrated a sequence of misunderstandings that spun a web of escalating tensions. The result was utter chaos, a tempest in a teapot fueled by his carefully orchestrated manipulations. He watched, unseen, a phantom pulling the strings, as Chloe and Sarah tore into each other with a ferocity he found both fascinating and amusing. There was no malice in his actions, not in the conventional sense. He felt no personal animosity towards either girl. It was a purely intellectual exercise, a test of his burgeoning skills in social engineering. He viewed them as pawns in a game he had designed, their emotions and reactions mere data points, confirming the effectiveness of his strategies. He meticulously documented every step of the process, analyzing the chain reaction of events he had set in motion. The meticulous notes, filled with clinical descriptions of human behavior, were almost perversely beautiful in their accuracy and detail. His next target was Mark, the school bully, a brutish figure who reveled in his power over the weaker students. Ethan, however, saw not a brute, but a predictable pattern of behavior, easily exploitable insecurities. Mark's swagger was a mask, masking a deep-seated need for validation. Ethan exploited this by crafting a series of events that made Mark look foolish in front of his peers. He orchestrated a situation where Mark's planned prank backfired spectacularly, making him the subject of ridicule rather than the instigator. He didn't use brute force, only the subtle art of manipulation. He used Mark's own arrogance against him, turning his confidence into a source of his humiliation. The process wasn't merely about causing chaos, it was about understanding the underlying mechanisms of human behavior. He saw social interactions as a complex algorithm, a series of predictable inputs and outputs, and he was learning to master its code. He treated his manipulations as experiments, meticulously recording his findings, constantly refining his methods, striving for perfection. His detachment was almost clinical, a stark contrast to the raw emotions he could so easily manipulate in others. Ethan's parents, oblivious to their son's secret life, remained blissfully unaware of the dark currents flowing beneath the surface of his seemingly normal existence. They saw only a bright, intelligent boy, excelling in school, polite and well-behaved. They saw the perfect son, unaware that this facade concealed a chilling aptitude for deception and a terrifyingly detached view of humanity. His home, with its comfortable furnishings and gentle routines, became a stark backdrop to his burgeoning career as a silent architect of chaos. It was a juxtaposition he found profoundly intriguing, the contrast between the mundane exterior and the dark, complex world he was meticulously constructing within. The library became his sanctuary, a place where he could delve deeper into the theoretical foundations of his self-taught discipline. He devoured books on criminology and psychology, his mind absorbing the complexities of human behavior with an almost supernatural capacity. He studied the techniques of interrogation, the nuances of body language, the subtle cues that revealed a person's hidden intentions. He was fascinated by the science of deception, the art of persuasion, and the power of suggestion. Online forums, hidden corners of the internet, provided a vast ocean of knowledge, a dark mirror reflecting the underbelly of society. Here, he honed his skills in digital deception, learning to create false identities, manipulate information, and leave no digital trace. He learned to mask his presence, to operate in the shadows, unseen and unheard. His online persona was carefully crafted, a mask of anonymity that shielded his true identity. He was a ghost, a phantom moving through the digital world, leaving only the faintest whispers of his presence. Ethan's methodical nature was evident in everything he did. He didn't rely on instinct or intuition. His actions were carefully planned, every detail meticulously considered. He approached each manipulation as a chess game, anticipating his opponent's moves, calculating his strategies with an unnerving precision. His lack of empathy, far from being a hindrance, was a crucial asset. He could manipulate others with cold efficiency, untouched by the emotional consequences of his actions. This detached approach, coupled with his intellectual prowess, was shaping him into something truly terrifying. A predator who operated silently, invisibly, leaving behind only the faintest of clues, a chillingly elegant signature of his destructive presence. The seeds of ambition, planted in the fertile ground of his unique mind, were rapidly sprouting, promising a future as dark and twisted as the underbelly of the world he was about to conquer. He was crafting his identity, shaping the persona that would soon become known as Cipher. His rise was far from over. It was just beginning. The Cipher's Code, by Max Anthony, broke down in 30 heart-pounding, high-octane adrenaline chapters. Stay tuned.